The 1975's Notes on a Conditional Form. It is.
22 songs, an hour and 20 minutes long.
Yes, we've talked about the 1975 a lot as far back as a year and change ago. In November, we talked about that, and we had a recent episode where we went through.
And they were, I think, our very first
musical history thing?
No, not me. Well, definitely not. But then it was one of my very first music recommendations was the 1975. That was
possibly, yeah.
I definitely remember doing that.
Yeah.
That was have to be like 10 or 15 episodes into Audioface. So
yes.
We've been talking about it since the dawn of the podcast, basically.
Yes.
One of the many artists we do. But yes, anyways.
This has been a long-awaited album. There's been a lot kind of said about it in the lore of the band. This is like the end of an era for them. And so
they're going to do what we always like to say is like take a break and chill for a while. Maddie's like, yeah, we're not making music for a long time after this. So
one hopes.
Mike, good. Mike, take your time.
Because to release an album that is 22 songs long and an hour and 20 minutes long, you better be
so here's
really thoughtful about the time you're spending, and that might be a critique of my album.
Here's the thing that's funny that I realized. I Like It When You Sleep, For You So Beautifully, Yes or whatever, the 2016 album, which might be my favorite, the 1975 album still to this day, even though Brief Inquiry is ridiculously good, is only 6 minutes shorter than this.
Sad.
Because I Like When You Sleep, the songs are a lot longer than this. This has a lot of interludes and other things, but we'll get into that. So anyways, it starts off with the 1975, which is normally their little opening track thing that go down soft sound that they've done on the previous albums, is now a little monologue opening of Greta Thunberg that she's just rambling on about climate change, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
like I'll give
rambling on's a little pejorative. It's a pretty like moving
it's really big about climate change,
activism, really,
and all of that stuff. Which I always say, if you're going to make a statement or something, go for it. And they did it on that regard, so that's pretty cool. And it's strange for an opening for an album, but I'll take it.
I mean, it's not real. I mean, like it's every 1975 album begins like with a fairly instrumental kind of thing, an expression of some kind. I'll say it's a good intro to people. It's just not a great intro to this album, because part of this album's like issue is just like it's a collection. It's a playlist. It's a collection of songs. It doesn't really like have this bit that goes together.
So you have People, which is we reviewed back in August, which was their first single, and it was the really hard rock song, just
punk.
like just
inspired.
Going. Yeah, it's him going Maddie's Marilyn Manson moment, where he's just like screaming, going off on the world, and I love this song so much. Love the energy of it. It's a great like starter for the album, and then you go straight from that to the end, in parentheses, Music for Cars, which is a beautiful little piece, but it's just felt really strange. Right after People, you're just like energized and pumped, and then you go into that to try to bridge the gap between that and Frail State of Mind. I go, okay, I can see what they're trying to do, but it like brings the album to a screeching halt immediately in that regard.
I mean, like I almost would have rather have nothing in between People and Frail State of Mind, just to like.
Yeah, I like the end. I really like the instrumentals of it, and I wish they would have put that somewhere else. Honestly.
It feels like it should be the song at the end of the album, but Guys feels like that more. So we'll get that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Frail State of Mind, fucking fantastic song. Absolutely love it.
It's a fairly like bare bones like 1975 style song, minus the like shimmering chimes. It's not like that glitzy of a song, but it's like a kind of like up pace, similar to like if you know Maddie Healy's vocals is definitely that.
Yeah, and it's about Maddie's anxieties of being on stage, and I really like that, because the main theme of this album for the songs that have lyrics in it is basically Maddie taking a sledgehammer to his own ego and saying, hey, look, I'm actually really not this confident, crazy guy you see on stage. If you really know me and how insular I am and how scared of things I am, this is what it's like. So
a lot of the lyrics in this album are very self-referential.
Yes.
It's referring to old lyrics, which is like, there are definitely two spins to look on it. I think there is an aspect of it that is very self-reflective, and then there's another aspect of it that is like, at what point is drawing attention to the ego or awareness of the ego.
Yeah, exactly. You know? It's that fine line between going through, because people say different things about it. Because people are saying, you saying about it is you having an ego, and other people saying, hey, he's actually trying to improve himself in that regard.
But I even think like to the broader review, like I think that's kind of the issue is that there are a lot of times where I think mainly Maddie, but like the 1975 choose to go on these sort of lyrical, I mean not musical tangents. Like they were in this mood. This album was a lot made in between parts of a little bit before Brief Inquiry and then up to now. So a lot of their tour, a lot of their world tour, and so a lot of it's inspired by that. So it's almost as though Gorillaz released Plastic Beach along with The Fall at the same time, and like because of that, some things like
well, yeah.
in the after Frail State of Mind past streaming, there's
The Birthday Party.
there's like a stream of songs that are very sort of Americana folk inspired, like the 1975's take on those things, and this album should have had one of them.
And here's the thing that right after The Birthday Party, you have a crazy song called Yeah, No, where they're using modular synthesizers for the first time. If you know what a modular synthesizer is, it's a giant wall of wires that you use to plug in and sample different instruments and stuff, and like Radiohead use it, and it's very complicated to do. And George, who's the drummer, is a big house head, a big electronic music lover and stuff. He grew up on that stuff, and he used it to do into Yeah, No. All right, after Birthday Party, I go, oh my god, this is awesome.
Yes.
Like I really, really love that sound. It's beautiful. And then it goes into that Americana stuff, and I go, I agree with you in that regard, 100%. Where I go, you should maybe have 1, 2 maximum in here, but because of the rest that's in here, that's the part of the album I don't like.
Yeah.
Is Then Because She Goes is a good little rock song. It's not super Americana. Jesus Christ, 2005, God Bless America, thanks Maddie, and Roadkill are those 2 Americana songs that just feel extremely out of place on this album.
Yeah, it's just like they like literally Maddie Healy could have made like a solo country EP or like folk inspired and just threw those on there. Like they're not bad songs, and the thing, like even my worst complaints about this album is that these aren't bad songs. It's just why did these all need to be here? Especially when Brief Inquiry for the 1975 had a lot of focus.
And here's the thing with this album. Originally, it was supposed to come out not too long after Brief Inquiry, maybe about 6 to 10 months after Brief Inquiry.
Like a full thing.
Yeah, exactly. And it was supposed to be more dance inspired, and it was supposed to be a dance thing to complement A Brief Inquiry. That was the original idea of this album. And I remember he talked about that in interviews and stuff at the end of 2018. I go, that's a great idea. I think that like they can explore a little bit more. The problem is they kept writing songs at the same time, and they just added those to the album. And I wish they would have kept with the original thing and made it more into like songs like Yeah, No. I think There's Something You Should Know, which I'll get to in a second. And done the album that way instead of bringing in all of these other sounds into it, because it just feels super choppy in that regard. Because there's so many electronic songs in here which they've explored and really changed their sound into that regard, and they're amazing.
And that's why, and it's near the latter half of the album. And that's where you can start to feel that connection of, oh, this would have been dancier Brief Inquiry.
And it would have
connected, but it's
fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Me and You Together song's really good. It's more like a 90s Brit-pop type of song. I love it. Again, it still kind of feels strange in this album. I think There's Something You Should Know is one of my favorites on this album. Absolutely love that track. It's that little dance beat. It's going back and forth. Again, going into reflective. There's Something You Should Know. I want to look at myself. I want to see what I look like from the outside. So see how I interact with people and everything. So it's a really cool thing into that. Nothing Revealed / Everything Denied is kind of like a throwaway song. They didn't need to put that in there, honestly. Tonight, I Wish I Was Your Boy is a really strange song, and it's Graduation Kanye mixed with Justin Timberlake for the sound. It's strange. And again, I like the song itself. In this album, in this context, between what it's sandwiched between, it doesn't fit. Because then you have Shiny Collarbone, which comes after, which is straight up UK garage. Straight up house music. Awesome.
It's probably my favorite thing. It's one of the most divisive parts. It's
awesome.
It's one of the most divisive parts of the album, but here's the thing, is like this album cannot decide like
what it wants to do.
What it wants to be. My complaint with the 1975 more broadly, and especially Brief Inquiry, was that at its worst, it is just very ham-fisted with whatever it's trying to do. And unfortunately, this album is trying to be a like 1975 callback, completion, culmination kind of album.
Yeah.
And so it's everything about them all the time overwhelming. And it's just kind of, it's just like it has attention issues. Yeah. It's just like kind of lost. And it's frustrating because it would make the album a lot better if it just chose that dance focus. And again, like maybe one song is like People, and then one song is sort of country.
And then you have right after Charlie Collarbone, you have If You're Too Shy.
Yeah.
And If You're Too Shy is this beautiful 80s track that is the epitome of the 1975 right there. It is like one of their best written songs I've had in a while, where it hits everything in that regard. But again, I go, you put that right after Shiny Collarbone, so it felt strange in that regard. So
Yeah.
there's things where I wish they would have done a more dance heavy album, or like Creep the Dance songs, maybe have another one, and then have an EP on the side of all the other stuff, because that would have made it way more cohesive and made better. Because then after You're Too Shy, those tracks, I don't remember playing on my mind, honestly, which is hilarious. Having No Head, What Should I Say, and Bagsy and Net are all dance-inspired music, and they're very, very good.
What Should I Say especially is the most like...
It's dance, it's like dance hall, and
it
strange.
comes very close to sounding like a Zoo song, which I haven't seen many artists like try to come close to or even do. I found it to be very interesting. I still think like I would prefer Zoo, like regular Zoo, to this.
Yeah,
also released a single recently, but I'm fucking tired. And like it's again, there's so many good ideas here, and even like the things that are kind of throwaway are the songs that you get lost in the shuffle because it's a 22 song album. They're good songs. It's just so
there's
you
too
don't
many
want
ideas.
to present it this way.
Yeah.
It's like I like donuts. I really like donuts. An original glazed donut that's done perfectly fine. Great. Don't give me 48 of them.
Yeah.
Don't give me 48 of them to have it once.
And then the last two tracks, Don't Worry, Guys. Don't Worry's a little piano ballad of like a little love song, and it's awesome. I started to really enjoy that track a little bit more today. And then Guys is, I think it's a really good ending for this, because it's Maddie wrote this song himself, and it's about him literally just thanking the band for becoming a band, because they've been together since they were about 13.
Yeah, middle school.
Yeah, they've known each other for most of their entire lives, and they've been together for 15 plus years, which is crazy to think of. That's how long they've been in a band together. So I really like it as an ending track, especially if they're going to go on, well, they're still going to tour and stuff and do other things, but they're going to go on a little musical hiatus, which I think they need to do in general, because they've been releasing music a lot for the tens, and they need to do the Gorillaz or the Damon Albarn of, hey.
The Damon Albarn after Plastic Beach.
Yeah, after Plastic Beach of, hey, you've made really good music, chill the fuck out for a while and just figure out exactly what you want to do. And you can tell they want to do that because they're tired. They've been touring nonstop for 8 years and stuff. So they, especially in this quarantine, Maddie was saying, they've really looked introspective, and they've been working on some stuff, but they really want to iron everything out before it's ready, because they don't want to rush stuff like this. Anyways.
Which is good, because like,
yeah,
I looked. The deluxe version of Humans has 2 fewer songs than this, and it's a half hour shorter.
That's hilarious.
Because it's a bunch of songs that like, because they're fairly good collection, but it's a playlist. It's just like cobbled together. It doesn't sound right. It seems like a bunch of ideas here and there that are takes on things, and some of those takes land, and some of those takes just like kind of forgettable.
But here's the thing that I will say for the 1975, they've definitely solidified their place as one of my favorite bands, because what do we always say on Audioface? Change your sound, do something different. They definitely did something different. They did. And the stuff they did different was amazing. It was fantastic. I just want them to do what they did on their previous 3 albums, which is really hone in on something that you want to do, make it a sound, and stick to it, which again was the original plan. And if they stuck to that original plan, you might have had one of the albums of the year contenders. But now with this, there's so much good stuff coming out in 2020 that is
it's
way
a good
more
album,
crazy.
but it's
a great album, but it's definitely not one of their best for sure. Because but there are amazing songs of this album.
Yeah,
so.
The angle that they tried to go for is very old school pop, in that you try to make an album that sounds like a little bit of everything, so that everyone likes something on the album. It's what like pop, like singer-songwriter artists do basically all the time.
And I think that's definitely the case, where just about almost any music lover will find something in here they'll enjoy, because you have like Roadkill's basically a country song, which for me I don't like, because I really don't like country. I have tried and tried.
I will outright say that I don't like the 1975 spin on country. I would think it was cute if they did it for one song, and that one song would be The Birthday Party, but like I actually find that song to be very grating against my ears. I do not plan to listen to it much more ever.
Yeah, The Birthday Party is okay. Roadkill I didn't like at all. But there's like house joints, which I actually sent to 3 people that I know that like house music, like, hey, You don't like the 1975? Actually, Bam is one of them from the We Made It podcast shout out, where he's a big house head. I'm like, listen to these 3 tracks because I wonder if you'll like them, because I know you don't like the 1975's normal music, but try this and see what happens. So
Yeah.
anyways, that was long, but it was a long ass fucking album. So
Yeah.
also, stop making music for a while, please.
Yeah. Sean, you need to find that clip of Matty Healy saying double albums are bad for fans, because holy shit, do I have to put him on blast. This is, I mean, Migos' album was 8 minutes longer.
Yeah.
Culture 3, like, it's seriously.
He's right though, because they're bad for fans, and I'm a fan of them. And
this was definitely the weakest point of this album, was that it was too much.
Yes.
Arbitrary Scale, Jamba Juice flavors.
This is the peanut butter and banana protein, which is really good depending on the day and who makes it.
This is the strawberry gummy bear, really good, a little too much.
Yeah, the gummy bear, that's a lot.
You don't need gummy bears in a smoothie.
You
It
don't.
defeats the entire fucking purpose.
Exactly.